Welcome back. Now that our website is complete, it's time to move it online so we can publish it. If you followed along offline using local just to learn WordPress, you can skip this section until you have a site that you're ready to publish. Then you can come back here and follow along. For many years, developing a site in WordPress offline and then moving it online was a really complicated process. But thanks to local and easy-to-use hosting platforms like SiteGround, this is no longer the case. In just the next 4 videos, we're going to learn how to prepare our server and local site for migration, upload our database and site files from our computer to the server, configure our site once it's on the server, and publish our site for the world to see. Now, while this process is easier than it's ever been, some of what we cover in these videos might seem a little techy and potentially confusing. But don't worry, just take your time and follow along with the videos, going back to rewatch as necessary, and your site will be up and running in no time. One super important note: before you get started migrating your site to publish online, there are 2 things you will need that cost some money and are not covered in this section: a domain name and a hosting plan. There are countless services and ways to obtain these 2 things, and I've included a list in the resources PDF. If you'd like me to walk you through the process, pause here and go back and watch section 4. In that section, I'll teach you how to set up a new hosting plan and get a domain name through my favorite service called SiteGround. SiteGround is the simplest, easiest, and most affordable way to get started developing WordPress sites online, which is why we're using it in this section. To access SiteGround, just click the link next to the lecture or visit siteground.com. Once you have your server set up, it's time to get started. In the next video, we'll start by preparing our server and our website in local for migration. See you then. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to get our SiteGround server set up and prepped to upload our WordPress website, as well as prep our offline site we built here in local. Now, as I've been saying a lot in this section, if you're using a hosting platform other than SiteGround, things will look different, but the same basic steps will apply, so I'd encourage you to watch this section anyway, as it will give you a good overview of what steps you'll need to figure out as you upload your site to your host. To get started, I'm going to open my browser and head over to SiteGround. We need to double check a few things before we get started. So let's go to siteground.com and log in. Once we're logged in, let's navigate to Websites and open up our Site Tools. Now, if you watch the hosting setup video all the way through, we'll need to quickly undo just a few things to prep our server for our local upload. First, let's click on App Manager to make sure that SiteGround hasn't installed WordPress on its own. Again, if you watch the setup video and installed WordPress, that's not a big deal. You'll see it down here under Installations. There'll be a little menu on the right here that's 3 dots on top of each other. If you click that, you can uninstall WordPress and everything that goes with it. So I won't show you that now. You can figure that out, but definitely do that if WordPress is installed here. Next, we'll go down one over here in the left menu to MySQL. This is where our website's databases are stored. Now again, I've cleared off this server, but for an example, I'll create a database here. If you see anything like this under Manage Databases, go ahead and click this and hit Delete. That's the same interface you'll see on the WordPress page. Click Confirm to delete that. Let's go over to Users and make sure there are no users there either. If there are users, go ahead and delete them. Now we'll go up to File Manager and load that. We'll want to navigate to our public HTML folder and make sure that it's empty as well. If there's something inside, just highlight it and click this trash can to delete it. The last thing we're going to check here on our server is that our SSL certificate is still installed and working properly. To do that, we'll go over to Security, click SSL Manager, and make sure that it's active on our domain. If for some reason it's not, go back to the Hosting Setup section and watch the video on adding SSL. We definitely want to make sure that we have an active certificate on our URL before we upload our site. Alright, as long as we don't have WordPress installed and there are no databases or users, or any files in our public HTML folder, and we have our SSL certificate active, our server's ready to go. So let's hide our browser and work on our local WordPress install. We'll open local, select our site, and start it up. Let's click Admin to log in. Here we're going to make sure our Coming Soon page is active. If we upload our site and a visitor stumbles across it before we're ready, we want to make sure they see the Coming Soon page. Let's go over to Elementor and Tools and come over to Maintenance Mode. Now you may still have this enabled from when we turned it on at the beginning, but if not, click Coming Soon and make sure that our Coming Soon template is chosen. Now let's click Save and close our site. Let's hide our browser again, come back to local, and stop our site. And that's it. Both our server and our local WordPress site are prepped and ready to go. In the next video, we'll learn how to upload our local files to our server as we prepare to launch our website. See you then. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to upload our database and WordPress files to our SiteGround server. To get started, we're here in local, and we have our site off. Make sure your site isn't on, and if so, just hit stop to turn it off. Now, local keeps track of all of the files and our database for our local site, and it does so in a folder that's located at this link under the title. So let's click this link to open up our Finder and see those files. So here we see a folder called Move Rest Repeat, and this is the folder local uses to store everything related to our local website. Now in here there's 3 different folders, and we're interested in the one called App. Let's open it up. So in here we see 2 different folders, Public and SQL. In the Public folder, we'll find all of the WordPress files and our media uploads that make up our site. In the SQL folder, we'll find one single file, and this is our SQL database. To make things simple, we're going to copy and paste these to our desktop. So let's copy this SQL file, go over to our desktop, and paste it there. Then let's go back, and with this public folder, we're actually going to compress it into a zip file. To do that, we'll right-click and hit Compress. We'll wait for it to compress, and then we'll actually just drag this zip file to our desktop. All right, now we have our 2 files on our desktop. Let's open up our browser and go to our SiteGround dashboard. Here, let's click on File Manager. Here we have our empty public HTML folder. This is where we're going to put all the public files from our local install. To do this the easiest way, let's go up one level to our base folder and let's upload a file. Let's pick our public.zip and hit Open. Now down at the bottom, you'll see the progress bar. This is a fairly large folder, so it may take a while to upload. All right, great. Let's click the public.zip file we uploaded and come over here to the extract icon and click it. Now we've extracted this zip folder right into our main folder. What we need to do is move all of the files in the public folder into the public_HTML folder. This is the folder that contains whatever we want the world to see when they come to our domain. To do this, let's open up the public folder and open up the public folder inside that and click the top folder, hold down Shift, and click the bottom file. This will select all of the files in this folder. Now we'll come up here to the Move icon. Let's click Browse, and we'll move all of these into our public HTML folder. Click Select and Confirm, and now we've moved all of our files where they need to be. To clean this up a little bit, let's just right-click on this top public folder and click Delete. We'll confirm that, and now our file manager's ready to go. The next step we'll need to take is to create a database and import our data into it. Now don't be worried, this might seem complicated, but SiteGround makes it real easy. We'll come over here to the MySQL link under Site and click it. Here's our MySQL manager, and inside this, we're going to create a database. To do that, simply click the Create Database button, and now copy and paste the name of the database into your notes or somewhere else so you can keep it. We'll need this in just a little bit. So I'm going to copy and paste that, and then we're going to come back here and click Create User. Create User again, and here's our user and our password. Let's copy and paste both of those as well. I know the names are a bit random and confusing, but this is good for security purposes, as no one will be able to guess them and hack into our site. All right, before we leave, let's give this user access to the database we created. We'll do that by clicking Manage Access, All Privileges, and Confirm. All right, now we're going to upload all the data from our local site into this new database we created. To do that, come up here and click PHP My Admin. Now click Access PHP My Admin. All right, here we are in PHP My Admin. This is a simple utility used to manage databases. Now it might look a little confusing, but don't worry, what we're going to do is very simple, so just follow along. Come over here and click the name of the database we created. When it loads over here on the right, come up here and click Import. Now look for the Choose File button and select the SQL file on our desktop. Click Open, and then come down here and click Go. All right, the import has successfully finished. That's great. Now there's only one other change we need to make. Let's come over to our database and click the plus sign to expand it. Let's click on the WP Options button, and here we see a whole bunch of rows inside that database table. We need to change these two URLs at the top to be our new URL. So let's go over to Edit on the top one, and let's just change this to moveRestRepeat.com. Be sure it says HTTPS at the beginning, and then come down here and click Go. All right, let's change the next one as well. Click Edit, moveRestRepeat.com, and Go. All right, let's close this and go back to our site dashboard. And that's it. We've successfully uploaded our database and our website files to our online server. In the next video, we're going to make a couple more changes to link everything together so that our site is ready to go live. See you then. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take the database and website files we uploaded in the last video and link them together in our final step of preparation for launching our website. To get started, let's click on File Manager. We can delete this public.zip folder if it's still there. That was the files we uploaded, just to keep everything real clean. All right, let's open up our public HTML folder and scroll down. We're going to look for the file called wp-config.php. This is the file WordPress uses to link itself to a database. So let's click on this and then come up and click the Edit button. All right, don't worry about all this code. We're just going to copy and paste our database and user information that we saved in the earlier video in here and we'll be done. So let's scroll down just a little bit till we see DB name, DB user, DB password, and DB host. This is where WordPress links to our database. So let's go grab the database name we copied and saved in the last video. If you forgot to save it, take a quick look at that video to see where to find it. So we'll copy and paste that, and we'll replace the word local with our database name. Now, let's go copy the username we created. We'll bring it back here and paste it in place of the word root. All right, and finally, let's copy our user's password and replace this word, root, next to DB password with our user's password. And that's it. Let's go up here and click Save to save those changes. All right, let's check and see how things are going. Let's open a new tab and go to our new moverestrepeat.com website. All right, and there it is. We see our Coming Soon page. This is great. Now let's log into our site and make just a few final configuration changes. So we'll add /wplogin.php to our URL to go to our login screen. Once we've logged in, the first thing we're going to do is come over to Elementor and go to Tools to use a built-in feature of Elementor. Let's go up to Replace URL, and here we're going to replace our local URL with our new URL. Our old URL is what local used for us to access the site offline. If you've forgotten that, open up local, and you'll see the site domain right here. So let's type it in. For us, it was moverestrepeat.local. And our new URL is moverestrepeat.com. Now be very careful and make sure you've typed both of those exactly right. Your old URL used in local preceded with HTTPS, and your new URL. What this is going to do is take the URL of every image on our website and any links we created and replace our local links with our new links so they work correctly. When you're sure you have everything accurately entered, let's click Replace URL. This shows us that there were 67 places that our old URL needed to be replaced with the new URL. Let's click OK and come down here to Settings. Let's go to General, and here we want to make sure to change out this email address. Now WordPress works best when this email address is one that has the same domain name as the site. If you're using SiteGround, setting up an email like this is incredibly easy. Let's go back over to our Site Tools, come down to Email, click Accounts, and type in a new email we'd like to use. We'll call this one hello@moverestrepeat.com. We'll set a password, and hit create. And that's it. We've created a new email address with our domain name. Let's use this in WordPress. We'll go back over to our settings and change out our local email address with what we just created, hello@moverestrepeat.com. Let's scroll down, save our changes, and our final adjustment will be to our contact form. So let's click Contact, click Edit, click Mail, and here we're going to change the email address that our contact form submissions are sent to. So here, we'll change it to hello@moverestrepeat.com. And we'll also say that that's where the email is from. Now we're seeing this error from that old email, so let's hit save, and that should go away. All right, let's go back to our dashboard. And that's it. I hope you were able to follow along and that it wasn't too confusing as we uploaded our files and linked everything together to launch our website. In the next video, we're going to double check everything, turn off coming soon, and unveil our website for the world to see. See you then. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to finally launch our website for the world to see. All we need to do is come over here to Elementor, go to Tools, Maintenance Mode, and disable our Coming Soon page. So click Disable, and when you're ready to launch your website, click Save Changes. And that's it. Let's go up here and log out and check out our new site. Up in the address bar, moverestrepeat.com. And there's our website. Everything looks great. I know we're technically done, but I hope you stick around for the last couple sections of this course. In the next section, we're going to review all we've accomplished and then move on to a few bonus sections that will hopefully help you out as you move on in your new web development journey and give you an idea of how you can take your site and future sites you build to the next level. So take a minute to enjoy browsing your live online WordPress site, and I'll see you in the next section really soon.